how to truly love yourself to the core in the context of a marriage, in the sacred container that we call a marriage. So there's so many YouTube videos on loving yourself to the core and doing self-care and everything. And most of them, unfortunately, give this empowering advice. You will see, so most of them will say to run away from people who trigger us. So if somebody triggers you, they are toxic, they are narcissists. Run, 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 run away, because this is freedom, this is self-love. And I disagree very much. I will tell you why. So as you know, in a marriage, we're going to get triggered the most. In marriage and in parenting, where I think mostly in marriage, we get so triggered. All our wounds get touched until we heal them. So what happens is, of course, like we are born so precious and pure, and during our life, during the environment, and our parents, our caregivers, whatever happens in our life, we get wounded, right, emotionally, and this is normal. It happens to everyone. So we kind of like walk with these wounds in the world, and people, we will attract people who will mm, push those buttons or scratch those wounds intentionally for us to be aware that, oh my God, I have this wound, I have to take care of it. So this is important. But what we do is, oh my God, this person hurt me. They didn't hurt you. You already had the wound. They just scratched it. They just touched it, like just slowly touched it, but you already had the wound, right? So the people triggering us is just a reminder that we have that wound and we should work on it. So we will end up being so powerful, so untriggered, unbothered, and we can simply walk in the world, right? Like with confidence, right? Like with confidence, with knowing who we are, what wounds we have, what wounds we healed, right? And not being easily triggered and afraid and running away from people. That's why I think so. All this advice with labeling and judging other people, like being toxic and whatever, is so harmful, because we end up, and we see this in the Western world. That's why there's so much depression and anxiety, because people see everything as a threat. Like every person will, oh my God, she hurt me. How could she say this? How could he say this? How could he do this? And just run, or divorce, like run, run, run. Or like we end up being like children running with wounds and scared of everyone. So this is not the way. And as we know, in marriage, we will get triggered. So in marriage, all our wounds will be triggered, right? But our partner didn't create those wounds. So we attracted specifically this partner because they are touching our wounds. We heal in relationships, right? So we attracted this partner because this is the partner we need for us to heal those wounds. If we run away from this partner, we will end up with the same kind of person, or those wounds will get triggered, even if not in that specific wound in the marriage, with another person. So we don't escape having to do the inner work of healing those triggers, right? So that's why I think the loving ourselves to the core is loving that child so much that you heal those wounds, not just put some band-aid, or not just run from people who trigger you. And the person who triggers you the most is most probably your partner. That's what happens. It is absolutely normal. It's normal. They're not supposed to be nice all the time, right? They're supposed to be human. And when they are not their best selves, they will trigger you with some things, or maybe something they say or do, right? And your work is to heal that wound, to be curious. Oh, I didn't know. This is triggering me. This hurts. I wonder why. What happened maybe when I was a child, right? How can I explain that to them that it hurts, right? How can I make it heal? How can I make it better? What can I learn from this? So the biggest form of self-love is actually for yourself. So to really love yourself to the core is healing those wounds, right? And actually putting yourself in situations, not running. So this is the advice I would give my own daughter. If she is triggered, I don't want her to run. I want her to be resilient and learn how to deal with her triggers, so much so that she can be in any situation and be untriggered and unbothered. And anyone can tell her anything, and she would be like really super confident and have high self-esteem that she wouldn't care, right? Like she would really know if somebody is talking in a mean way to her, like she would really know it's about them, it's nothing to do with her, and she would still feel good. She doesn't have to be in that environment, but that's what I want for her, and that's what I want for all of you, right? To be not easily triggered, like not easily bothered, right? And the way is to actually be okay, right? And learn from the triggers. In no way start to label people that they are toxic and they're not good for you and keep running from relationships. We heal through relationships. It is what it is. I know it's hard. I'm still going through some stuff myself, right? And I know it's hard, but this is the way. This is the way. This is the biggest form of self-love. So no judging the triggers, no judging the person who triggers us, right? And no running away, because it will keep running after us until we heal it. So I wrote down some ways also, besides healing, like loving yourself to the core, right? Means being healthy emotionally, right? Taking care of your emotional health. And this is your responsibility 100%. Also, being well emotionally means, so feeling well in your body and the quality of your emotions, you want to keep them high. Meaning when you love someone, the vibration, the emotion of love, it's really energy in motion, right? Like we feel the emotions in our body, physically, we feel them. The vibration of love, appreciation, kindness, it goes through our body. So when we feel good emotions towards someone, we actually love ourselves. So when I love my husband, even more like he doesn't feel the emotion of love is in my body, right? Like he sees maybe my love, he might not see it as love, he might not judge it as love, I don't know, but the emotion of love is in my body. So actually loving someone, respecting someone, admiring, appreciating, all these emotions, I feel them. When I admire my husband, when I respect my husband, I feel a lot better than him. So it's me who feels the feeling. So loving myself to the core means making sure I have the highest quality of good emotions towards my husband. So in the context of my marriage, appreciating him, I will look for things to appreciate him because it feels good to me. I would look for things to love him because it feels good to me. I would look for things to forgive because it feels good to me. And we know this from psychology that we are very harsh with people and criticize and blame and complain and nag because we do this to ourselves. So if I have the high standards for myself and I beat myself up for everything, of course, that's how I'm going to speak to my husband, right? And maybe it's hard to do that for myself, but I can start with my husband. I can start forgiving him and then seeing, you know what, he's human. I can forgive him for this. He's human. He's not perfect. He's gonna make mistakes. But you know what? I'm human too. So next time I make a mistake, I won't say, oh, I'm stupid. So this is not how you should act. This is not how a mother acts. This is not how a wife acts, right? So it's the greatest opportunity in a marriage to learn forgiveness, appreciation. We start with our partner and with ourselves. So like we will feel the good emotions of forgiveness, love, appreciation, respect, right? And when our partner is not there anymore, so when we are in certain situations, it will feel easier for us too to feel that self-love, that self-appreciation, self-confidence, self-forgiveness. So a marriage is really like the best opportunity you can get to love yourself to the core by, number one, healing your wounds, right? As I said, like healing your childhood wounds and your triggers by being curious, journaling, doing therapy or coaching, whatever you need to do, but heal those wounds. Those wounds are not made by your partner. He is just barely touching them, but the wounds are there. And number two, by cultivating high quality positive emotions towards your husband, because it's you who's going to feel them, right? So remember, when you love your husband, it's you who feels the love. When you forgive your husband, you feel compassion, right? You don't feel stupid, you feel compassion. And it will also help you to feel those feelings towards yourself. This is really self-love to the core. This is not self-love in the sense of take some time for yourself. Of course, that's great. It will show up like that. It will show up like taking time for yourself and being forgiving when the house is a mess, but you still went for a run, right? Of course, it shows up in so many different ways. But these are like, if you really want to feel that self-love to the core, is actually through relationships. And the most important relationship that is the most triggering and also the most rewarding, right? When you cultivate the positive emotions. So it's letting go of, and instead of blame, shame, complain, nag, threaten, like these are the behavior that my mentor, William Glasser, says, like they are the killers of marriage, right? So do the opposite: love, respect, appreciate, admire, forgive, and of course, be curious and have some fun, right? When you do this in marriage, it will be so easy to do it for yourself. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what other questions you have. Bye-bye.